Yo, what's up, PumpTown and friends? Welcome back to another update. Hope you had a good trading day. I had a lot of fun. Let's see if I can wind up my executions here. I had turned them off earlier. Nope. So, just gonna have to draw them out again. So in the monthly time frame, I had this guy here from last night, and I wasn't really worried about too much lower than that for the moment. I was really focused on this fair value gap. And then we refined that in the weekly time frame. So I didn't get the opportunity to refine this last night here. So I'm going to grab the low of that candle and the high of this candle. And we tagged consequent encroachment here intraday where my entries were. And if you want to take a peek at those, they are on my Twitter page, not too far down. There's one that's like a 33-minute video of me scalping the range on the way up, pyramiding. And then there's the original trade, which I'll explain. And of course, it's all recorded. So, not cherry-picked, not hindsight. And definitely not left side of the chart stuff. I'm just trying to, now that I'm trying to find the top of this candle. Where did it top out here? Okay, so daily time frame. While I was in my little session this morning, I was just taking a peek at this here, and I was more interested in this rejection block here for a higher time frame discount array to key off of. So that was pretty fun. So I'm just gonna remove this weekly gap for now and just show you what was going on here during the day. So not a lot of range, and that's okay. I'm still alright. So my first trade this morning was on this puppy here. I was noticing how we hit that. The original midway point from last night's update in the month, that monthly gap that I annotated, the midway point was down here somewhere. So while this was printed and I was waking up at around here and waiting for opening bell, I was kind of fidgeting around. And I mentioned this in the update too, that these levels weren't finite. Like I would be updating you on the levels, especially my private students. Okay, so this rejection block here is what I was kind of noticing, and the reason why. Sorry, I'm quite unorganized this evening. I don't spend a lot of time in the charts anymore. Not as much as I used to, and boy, does it feel great. So I'm noticing that the model's here, and I'm like, okay, 930 is likely going to come rip it into this bear flag. That's what I'm thinking. So I was kind of looking at the time. Oh, well, we had made the model on consequent encroachment. So that low rate there is that low rate in here. So this morning I had taken a trade off of the order block for opening bell, and it went up in my favor and came back down and tagged out my runner, and then I ended up getting in again, and both of those trades are on Twitter. So I know it's going to seem like I'm talking out my butt, but that's okay. I realize this when I look at the recordings, when I watch my own recordings, and I look at what other people are doing, and I'm like, whoa. You wouldn't believe it if I didn't record it. So this order block here, getting that shot up for opening bell here, coming back down. I think it was just in one single clean candle, but it came back down for my entry. And then ended up taking off. So I was looking at the 5-minute chart and just noticing how it kept dropping into the order block and showing a willingness to not go lower. It kept finding sensitivity. So every time it was dropping down, I was entering in with 1 or 2 or 3 contracts and paying myself with 1 or 2. This was here. So I was in on this candle, and you can see my entry was dangling down here. And I had another entry here, and my entry was dangling down here. And I believe it was either this candle or both of them. You'll see executions on the screenshot, and it was just net. It was just net today. So that was cool. Now let's take a look at what happened after. This was wild. So this was ICT short, and phenomenal job, dude. That was pretty sweet. They leave these here as bait. Like, I mean, sure, the double bottom worked out 3-to-1 R, blah blah blah, but people don't pay themselves, so they leave themselves exposed. That's the only problem. So there's the end of the day's candle here. That's the close here, 459. Notice how price just went magically to that specific price point before ending the trading day for New York session. And then I'm just looking at this for the first time now and going, ugh. So it's digging into that rejection block. It's taken liquidity. It's hit a discount. It's hit some other stuff in here. There's order blocks and stuff going on here, I guess. But it looks like poo. So let's go back to the daily chart. There was... Well, that's the fair value gap. I want to see this SR flip. You remember that bear flag that I was targeting that I mentioned here? You see that? You see this setup, and it comes up, and then it starts breaking down, right? But then it rips right back for it right there. You see this is on the 5-minute chart, right? Now go to the daily chart, and I'll bust out a Romeo for you. What do you see? I see order flow going up to a bear flag, just like in the 1-minute chart, just on a daily. So could we see a dip? Yes. Yes, I would invite one. We've got a swing high here in a premium. So this was from last week here. This is our purple box. And we did close a candle above half, I guess, huh? So I'm bullish primarily. Now I'm inviting a dip. I just don't know how far it's going to come down. That's all. So let's keep it simple. Let's go back 20 days. So we've made the swing high in a premium market. So there's 20 days right there. Let's grab the lowest low, the highest high, mark off, or just note fair value here. So this would be something. I'm going to leave that purple. discount arrays. That's a tough call, man. I guess just have them both. Does it come all the way down there? My goodness. I guess it could. The faster it does it, the more bullish I am, really. Let's grab this whole, both of these gaps here. And we got to make sure that that's the open there. 19,225. No, that's the open there. See, and this is what I was doing last night, right? See how that's 19,225 right there? And that's the open of this candle, but it shows that it's bullish. So I always double check. So I'm going to terminate this and just keep this, and that'll be our fair value gap. Obviously, if it's gravitating towards this void of liquidity, oh, 1 second, I got an issue. Cute alert. Anywho, it's sure. I'm open to the idea. So just now that we have the swing high and this thin iced candle here, I'm going to terminate this guy. It's already been used. Well, not that it's already been used, but I'm just done with it. There's of course this, I mean, it's a premium array. We got this little range here. It's just, it's such a little, it's a bit messy. Like, I remember daily candles not looking like an altcoin in crypto. This is new to me. All these gaps and looking like trash. I was mentioning that I wouldn't mind if this week was bearish first, but if we're in turbo mode, we could just start losing control. Fipsy, shout out, buddy. He had this guy on his chart. Now it's kind of thin, so I'm just sure it's there. There's also, like, this is a gap as well from that candle's low to that candle's high, which we're above. It'd be really cool if we made a bottom at here or just above and then started working up and took that and left a fair value gap in here. That's what I want to see happen. So I'm going to let price come into agreement with that. So with that in mind, I'm going into my daily chart. Bro, this could be all right. We have taken structure here. We do have a little fair value gap here. So for now, I know this is going to be confusing for some of you. I'm actually going to wipe this out of the market. I'm just going to pretend that none of this exists. Okay. And you'll be like, why? I'm going to use this as discount here, and this is premium here, until we break the equilibrium of the range. Because if we're bullish, which I think we are, like turbo bullish, then we typically won't break this. Now, why isn't that going back down? There we go. All right. There. So I'm going to take that out of the equation. That's going to be my premium discount zone. If we start losing this, then I'll add those other annotations. So this is the low of the gap. This is our bullish breaker. Is this a unicorn? You could argue it, and I wouldn't, I wouldn't deny you the right to call it that, even though it might not be, but it probably could be. We also have this inversion for value gap. There's just so much going on. Make it cool and easy for us, please. It was so nice and easy down here, and now we're like, what do we do? It's premium. Okay, wait for a dip. I'm primarily bullish on the markets for the next few months in general, in a macro sense. So until we lose that low down there, I'm still bullish. I know I just sounded like a Canadian there. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Yo, what's up? Good evening, everybody. What's up? Still nasty after hours. Wild berries, Mario. Who's this guy? Yo. Am I trading BTC? No. Nah, I've lost interest in Bitcoin. Where it sits, it's great. It's up there. Bags look great. I just trading it, whatever. Like, look at this sketchy dork. It looks like an up close candle, but it's down. Weird. Yeah, it's at a premium. I'd like a little dipsky poo here. If it does, I'd entertain and trade. If it does down here, then I will be really looking for a trade up. But I kind of already got my piece out of here, and I'm just whatever. I'm so like bummed out that Ethereum is such trash that I'm losing hope and interest in crypto. But that's by design. It's actually designed to do that. And Sam nailed it on the head today during the live stream. This is the year of the panic seller, and it is by design. And if you don't believe that crypto's gonna make all-time highs in a comeback, then sell and walk away. It's that simple. Just continue on your life and hold, or just pack it in. Because as soon as you pack it in, it's gonna rip. My first time in crypto, that's what happened to me. I just got so bored, and then it dumped, and then everything dumped, and everything dumped some more, and then I left. And by the time that I left, I was so sick of it that I didn't care that everything ripped. I was like, so what? That's for real. And then the second quote-unquote bull run came around, and I freaking demo traded it. I didn't understand a bull run, okay? I didn't understand cycles at this time. And now I'm here at the third one, and I'm just going to keep holding, no matter how crappy it feels, no matter how much fear that they induce. It's just what it is. So far, our swing low is holding. So I guess I told you guys I'd do a little more in-depth Ethereum update. There's really no change for the moment. We are above what I deem support for a deep, deep, dirty discount, like Max Payne dirty discount. If this week makes this swing high right here, so we've got our lower high, higher high, lower high, if we can materialize a swing high here, and that would give us our discount market structure break. What does that mean? Well, if you've been through my essentials, you'll come to realize that I'm basically just a trend trader. And once it meets its demise in its discount repricing, this is where everybody's crying and saying it's over. This is where I'm looking for a long. Historically speaking, the best place to buy is the bottom. That's why we buy dips. So as this swing low here materializes, well, what was at the top other than the double top? There was a swing high. You've got a swing low here, higher low, lower low, higher low. That was the low of this impulse to the swing high of this impulse, which ended up trending lower highs and lower lows to a discount. Now we've made our discount swing low. Yes, I did call the bottom here. I did, and I was wrong. Woo, whoop-de friggin' do. How are you calling the bottoms? You're not. That's why you're kind of, here trying to figure out how to call bottoms. You do not just switch up your strategy and go, oh, well, that didn't work. On to market cipher. No, you set it up and you try again with no emotions. And just because a previous dog bit you doesn't mean the new girlfriend's dog is going to bite you. So the difference in between this swing low here and this swing low here is what you guys call a bullish engulfing candle. And it closed above my support level. This one did not do that. So I was mentioning at the time that this is sketchy and not to be taking my analysis as going and betting the farm and selling vehicles and stuff. That you could do that here. Now that we've rated these stops, because I told you guys that this was a probability, a very, very high probability that we were going to come into this pool of liquidity underneath these equal lows down here. You were all told that this is one of the highest probabilities out there. It already showed its hand to want to come down. Now, in the 4 hour, there was a short-term shift in structure. There was. But it just wasn't dynamic enough. There wasn't displacement. It didn't really do this here because it had a job to do. I know you might think that's random, but no. It went there just to be an absolute prick to liquidate everybody who's long on the Trump pump. Remember, everybody was bullish here on Trump. You got to think about that for a second. Literally, the entire planet bullish on Trump pump. Well, what did the market do? Oh, it went immediately down and just liquidated everybody. Trillions of dollars. It was like the biggest in Ethereum's history. Now, subsequently, as a result of that, you've got every mainstream KOL and all the hedge fund managers calling it $400 ETH and even lower in some cases. That's not realistic. It's pretty much done its job. But now you've got the whole world turbo bearish and they're all exposed to the market. Well, if you're one of my students, you understand that if you're in a crypto asset long, it can only come against you so much. So like, if it drops 50%, great. It just drops 60% or more, just a little over from the top there. Whoop-de-doo, right? Yeah, but think about if you're leveraged short and Ethereum just decides to go turbo moonshot. Well, these guys who knew everything, now they're getting liquidated on the way up. And I was trying to explain that to a gentleman in the Discord who completely ghosted us when I told him to close his trade at a 20K loss because it was coming for him. Angrily. That's because that's what it's going to do. It's going to start riding. All the people and all the whales and smart money that's buying down here, we're anticipating a smart money reversal down here. How do you know? Because everybody's been liquidated. Price just magically comes to people's liquidation prices and then does the money printer or your cup and handle, whatever that is for you, and then and then it just loses control every time. Go look at history in literally any chart and you will see that these signatures are there. So I'm not worried about if ETH is going to go back up. It's gonna. I told you this on the first update that Vitalik was creating something in the back. He's doing stuff, upgrades, blah, blah, blah. And look at what he just released. He's literally saying, okay, I'm doing this, and this. We've got upgrades. I stopped drinking soy. I went to the gym. I don't have a girlfriend anymore, so I can focus on my job. So Sam nailing it on the head today. And also, like, because I've been through a couple of these, I'm not exactly a spring chicken. And I can see from everybody blasting themselves all over social media with the, wrecked confessions and people on Twitter just crying all the time. they're offside all the time. So like, you gotta hold. It's designed to bore you to death. It's designed to be irrational longer than you can stay solvent. And if you don't believe me, just go into history. Could you imagine for a second? Say you were just getting into crypto, and this is where crypto ripped after I was done with it. And say you were getting in and you had just heard about 10,000x gains, yada yada, everybody's just goofballed out. But, people are like, don't buy the top. You got to wait. You got to buy the dip. You got to buy the dip and you got to hold. You just got to DCA this amount of much of your paycheck every month. And you just keep holding for the 4-year cycle, right? That's the general consensus here. So people who are DCAing, remember, these are weekly candlesticks. These are weekly freaking candlesticks, you guys. I really want to drill this home for you. So from, let's say, this low here, because people would just be goofballed here, okay, to when it actually starts losing the range, it's 1,000 days. 143 weeks. Like, that's ridiculous, right? So people who are DCAing every 2 weeks, just because that was how you did it back then. There was like barely leverage trading, and it was like you were just holding coins for, because you liked the tech. It was all about the tech back then, and we're the cutting edge crypto tech. It was, Anyway, you're DCAing, and look at the flatness here. It sucks. By the time this happens here, because you've gotten a sugar rush here, you've gotten a bigger one here, then it comes down and you're just destroyed. You're like, why the hell did I ever get into this garbage? That's what happened to me over there. It was like, why did I ever? I'll show you. Oh my gosh, there. It was like, okay, crypto, yay. You start buying tops and everything just goes down, down, down after just nothing. And then it goes down, down, down. And this is like, there was like, what the heck? There was only a few coins back then. Matic and some weird ones. Anyway. It ends up losing control. Everything ends up billion Xing. So then you're like, okay, well now I'm going to hold for this cycle. Well, how well did that work out for them? Right? So you've got the first one was just awesome, right? If you were patient enough for it. But look at this one. This one was just doom, doom, doom. And then this third you'd consider, because one little one here, and everybody's like buying that. Like everybody's, here we go. Because you see weekly candles. You're like, yes, 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 yes. 3 green weeks, bullish soldiers, whatever you're calling it, right? Cup and handle 2, daily time frame 2. Everything's looking great. Bigger sugar rush. Comes down, bam. And now you're like, why did I even get into this stuff? And then it comes up and you're like, it's time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. And it SR flips. And because TA is just so, people are just so good at technical analysis, they'll deem that an SR flip and say it's over. Right there. And we have receipts. We've got lots of receipts of everybody saying, it's Bitcoin only. It stole the show. There's no alt season. Like, beyond receipts, you guys. Okay? What ended up happening after that moment? After it came and grabbed everybody's liquidity from the double bottom, it lost control. And that was your 2021 bull run, your COVID run with the money printer. Amazing, hey? Now we're in that same sort of scenario again. Only the time span has been elongated this time. And everybody thought it was the 4-year cycle because it was Bitcoin's halving. That's not the 4-year cycle. It's the 4-year liquidity debt rollover. It's the bonds and everything. That they give themselves more money after spending everybody's money. Did you know that we're like $235 trillion in debt in the whole world? Like the whole world, like everybody all together, we're all $235 trillion in debt. So the whole, like what planet are we in debt with? Like how, like what? The people grilling us about our $60 freaking FEMU transfer is trillions of dollars in debt. It's just like, wow. Anyway, it's done its job here. It can come for these lows. I don't see that it would want to. It's already showed me willingness to want to trade higher. So what I was really getting at was the original shift in market structure that we were looking for out of this swing low here was up here. That would have not the shift, the break, because this is a weekly time frame. So you're breaking the trend. It's currently in a dirty downtrend. At that moment, when I was looking at this being the bottom, we would have had to travel all the way up there to break trend. Now we're here so far. We need that swing high to get violated by price to then subsequently make a higher low. Here's the kicker. If we can do nothing this week or even trade down a little bit, I'd permit that. But then we would make a swing high right here. And I would thoroughly enjoy this. Because if that happens and we take 1866, oh, it's going to be fun. Okay. So if we can make a swing high this week, I want this week to do nothing. Totally backwards than what you're used to when you're out on your journeys looking for people's technical analysis. I would prefer if this week did nothing. Oh, that's funny, huh? So if we can take that swing high, but not that one, trade down and leave a double top, this would set up the most perfect run you'd ever see in your life. And you'd be like, wow, the bottom was called. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but this happens all the time. Sometimes you don't get like a nice discount 786. Sometimes it's like an SR flip. Sometimes it's just weird, but I'm expecting that CME gap to hold. Once that happens and we take this high or this high, I'd be looking for a dip. Don't let this dip. This will be a nasty flash dip that will run out everybody chasing this. Okay, so this is what's likely going to happen. We've now closed here. So the retail world has now deemed this to be an SR flip. So the $400 traders, if they're any good at executing and technical analysis, they'll wait for the retest and a bearish engulfing candle before repricing lower and, collecting their close on their short, if they're any good, right? However, if we were anticipating price to want to run up here, which I am, I would love it if it came up here and tricked traders with a bearish engulfing candle into thinking it was an SR flip and then running them out after. So inducing more shorts here. Yeah, that's right. Even more than there is. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so you've made an SR flip here. Okay, it comes up and it taps and they're like, oh, great, bearish engulfing candle. Now they're triggered in a short. Where are their stop losses? Right here. All throughout here. Well, where did price go? To their stop losses, just magically and randomly. But it took this high, and did not take that high. Well, I maybe pierced it a little bit, but I'm just going to, because this is triple top now. Price is never coming back here, right? It's over for good. And price is likely going back there. So that's kind of how I played the charts. Completely upside down to everybody out there. And I don't know. I don't make the statistics, okay? 95% of people they ain't no good. So I'm going to be on the other side of those people. And you can decide if you want to come hang out with us or hang out with them. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed the update, and we will see you very soon. Peace.